Our next speaker is an ordained minister, a former engineering manager, a master's degree scientist, an award-winning author, and a corporate stress management trainer. Reverend Kebba Buckley Button helps people live life with the vitality and inner peace that they seek. Here to enlighten us on your stress latitude, please welcome Reverend Kebba Buckley Button.
It's great to see all of you here. Today, as he said, I'll be talking about your stress latitude. I don't want much from you this evening. I just want to completely change your life in the next 12 minutes or so. In the beginning of my project of becoming a stress management person, I had a very formative experience that I thought was horrible at the time, but now I'm grateful. About 30 years ago, I was standing talking with a couple of people, and I became aware that the large knuckles of both my hands were burning like hell. And I'd never had an experience like that before. It was something that just started happening. I was just standing talking with these people, and I had been very athletic up to that point, and I had relatives who had very mild arthritis, like take a couple of aspirin a day. So I chose not to worry about it. I took 3 aspirin then. It was really bothering me. And I thought, oh well, so I'm going to have mild arthritis like some of my relatives do. And that's not what happened. Within a year, I was burning from head to toe. And there was also a terrible stiffness with it. And this being 30 years ago, there was no medical technology at all for anything like autoimmune disease or whatever it was that I had. So we placed it in the category, those that I loved and who loved me, we put it in the category of, okay, it's arthritis of some sort. And at the rate that it was progressing, I was going to be in trouble really fast. I worked for a government agency, and they had a cafeteria which had trays that you slide along a counter. And the only way, because my hands got so that they could hardly operate. So I had to move the lunch tray like so, and then at the end of the slide, I would hit the tray with my wrist and slide the tray onto my forearms. And then I would go to the table and I would hit the tray with my hip and slide it off my forearms. Now, imagine being 20-something and knowing that you are stiffening up and something awful is happening and there's no medical support for it except, here, have some lovely pills. We have more pills for you. And I said to the doctors, you know, I'm really more interested in addressing the underlying condition. I was a master's degree scientist. And I believe in studying things and causing things to reveal themselves and then identifying a protocol and doing something about it. So I went out at like an engineering project. So I interviewed the only people that could help me, which were the people that already had chronic pain and horrible stiffness. Some of them had diagnoses and some did not. Everything was called arthritis in those days. And I began then on an 8-year odyssey of studying anything I could study that might possibly help me. And what I learned is that there are 3 families of approaches that really help this kind of condition. One is the constellation of whatever raises your metabolic rate, like heat. You've seen arthritics wrapped up in a lot of clothing and it's 80 degrees. It raises their metabolic rate. Now also, hanging out in your jacuzzi and oriental energy therapy will not only raise your metabolic rate, it will actually raise your temperature, if that's what you mean. Then the second constellation of sources and solutions is nutrition. And 30 years ago, doctors were losing their licenses for talking about nutrition. That was like, oh no. The third constellation of solutions was in the field of stress management, I began to see that there were roles in stress and solutions to stress embodying that were very, very powerful for me and for the other people that had these kinds of things. So, in the 8th year, I had a really exciting event. I was at a party, and a friend was talking about, she was talking with excitement about her arthritis. And it was like she had married her arthritis. I know, right? She talked about how she got new clothes for it, and she got a new car for it, and she traded in her old camping equipment and got special camping equipment for it, and she got a special chair for it, and just went on, and I was just kind of feeling sick. And I heard myself feeling very impatient, and I said, Nancy, when I had horrible burning arthritis, I found that such and such helped. Now, I can't tell you what came after such, because I was riveted that I was saying I had this situation. Sometime in the previous 6 months, it had just died a lovely death. It went away. It was gone. Well, so that 8-year training camp was the genesis of my leaving engineering and having a holistic healing practice, beginning to write articles and articles and articles and books and CDs and teaching meditation classes and many things that I do today. So now I'm grateful for that odyssey, but it wasn't fun at the beginning. Now, I think of stress in levels or latitudes, and we know today that there are many very serious medical effects from a sustained welcoming of stress into your body. And most people are really great at finding a source of stress and getting upset about it and pulling that upset into their body and storing it there. So we have a lot of people today who have headaches and eye strain and back muscles and sciatica and illness. And can you feel yourself going down as we go to these deeper and deeper descriptions? Some people are sunny and warm. They're in the tropical latitudes, and they do not basically embody stress. But then we have people with the headaches and people with the back pain and people who are starting to walk funny because one hip is caught up. That comes from stress in the shoulder, by the way. Then we have people getting sick more often. I had a friend who was a healer, a professional healer, and she had a cold for 2 years. Yeah, I think stress might have had some effect on her autoimmune system. 2 years. Every time I saw her, I had a, how are you doing? Well, good. I'm glad to see that you're feeling energetic today. Oh, that was very nice to see. 2 years. Okay, the fear, by the way, goes right to the autoimmune system. And then these symptoms get darker and darker and deeper until you can actually get stress-caused arthritis. You can get stress-caused failure of organs. I have a friend who was in a hospital recently with multiple organ failures that could not really be explained, except I think she's terrified of life and a number of things. And then at the very bottom, at the lowest latitude you can get to with stress, you can actually kill yourself. And most of you, I think, are very well aware, you're smart professionals, you know that it's not what's happening around you, it's how you respond to it. In Japan, there is actually a word for death from overwork. Wow. And you're all quick, you know that for there to be a word for something, there's got to be a lot of it. We're not talking about suicide, we're talking about people just killing themselves by working too hard. So, I know you've all been thinking, gee, which latitude am I in? What's my latitude of stress? And whatever yours is, hold that thought. I'm going to teach you a technique right now. Time is good. So, a technique you can take with you all your stress management days. This is 1 minute stress management, and you can remember how important this is because when you're in an airplane and the oxygen masks come down and you have Granny to your right and the 2-year-old to your left, you have to put on your mask first, right? You have to take care of yourself. Would you repeat after me? I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of myself. Once more with great gusto. I have to take care of myself. Thank you. This is very important. And now you've just named this technique. It's SELF. 1 minute stress management. You're going to shrug, exhale, laugh, and feel what a difference that makes. You can take this all your stress management days. A friend of mine boiled it down to 17 seconds rather than 1 minute, and it went like this. So he seemed rather crazy, but that was his style. So in the 1 minute version of this, and I challenge you to come up with your own 1 minute version, you're going to shrug, and because we're doing this quickly, just shrug, roll, twist your shoulders in any direction you can think of, and this will open up the oxygen to the brain and the feet and whatever else hasn't been getting the circulation it needs. You want to prevent Alzheimer's disease? Open up your shoulders. Isn't that fun? And it would cost you how much? It was free. And you had to travel how far? Okay. Now, the next thing you're going to do is exhale. You're going to exhale first. In this country, we say, take a deep breath. You know, like that's going to calm you down. No, always exhale first. Exhale with me out to the end of your breath and then allow the gas. Now, within 60 seconds, because that's what it takes for oxygen to circulate the body, you will get a little rush at the back of your head, so it's a good thing you're all sitting down. The rush is oxygen. Again, that was free. You did not have to go to your drug dealer. Now, feel the difference and feel your arms and your legs. Is there not a very pleasant tingling, especially you, in your arms and legs? Because I expect you to be very receptive, very energy sensitive. So, yeah? So isn't that fun? And if you do that for just 1 minute or boil it down to 17 seconds like my friend, you'll be all set. Speaking of oxygen, we all want to keep more oxygen in our cells. We love antioxidants today, right? Because antioxidants are things that you can swallow or put on your skin that help you to reduce oxidative stress. The body naturally loses oxygen from the cells, right? Okay, the number one antioxidant beverage in the United States is coffee. Seriously. There's much more in coffee than caffeine. A lot of people think it's the caffeine that makes coffee fun. No, it's hundreds of organic compounds in the coffee. So I'm a big fan of coffee. Drink it calf or decaf, doesn't matter. All right, so now you've got the SELF and you know to drink your coffee. Now, I have about 18 different categories in my constellation of stress management techniques, but I want to speak to the one that people are just not talking about yet. Thank you. So it's developing your peaceful inner core. Whether you have a faith basis or you don't, if you can take 3 fingertips and place them in the center of your palm, rotate, if your body geometry allows, and put the 3 fingertips in the center of the other palm. Now, how many times have you seen people standing just like this at gatherings? They're instinctively treating their peaceful inner core. Metabolically, you can develop your peaceful inner core if you're a person of faith. Know that the divine is always with you, always present, always in the interstitial spaces of your cells and molecules. If you're not a faith-based person, you still need a strong inner core, because if you have, for example, an angry core, that's what you're going to pull to your core. You are an electromagnet. If you are a happy, productive person, you want to attract success and fabulous clients, then you be fabulous in your inner core, and that is what will be magnetized to you. I'm so delighted that we had this time together today. Thank you so much for being with me. And you know what Mario Andretti said? You probably know. If you wait, the only thing that happens is you get older. Don't wait to shift your attitude and your latitude of stress. Thank you.
You can find Kebba at www.kebba.com. and her number is 480-250-1177. Thank you, Kebba.